Hi, I'm Scott, your SKS video guy, and today I want to talk about a little problem I found with this bad boy. This is the DJI Pro Controller from them. This controller here can control a multitude of drones. We have the Mini 3 Pro, the Air 2S, and the Mavic 3. This controller controls all three of them, as does the RC controller. Each of these drones comes with a standard N1 controller, but the problem lies is with the Pro version. You go out, you want to fly. You take all three drones along. The whole purpose of having this one here is to fly all three without having to carry a whole bunch of N1s with you. You carry the Pro unit with you. Now, I purchased this Pro unit here prior to them updating the firmware on the RC unit here to allow it to run all three drones. At the time I got this wasn't able to do that, but this one was. Later on, they did update this one, and had I known they were going to do that, I may have not bought this one. Either way, I still like this controller here. It's very nice. It has a nice bright controller. It has the antennae up here that gives you a little bit of range. The problem I come in contact with here recently is, say you're going to go out and fly. You take your drones out, you set them up, you start, say I want to fly the Mavic 3. So I take off and I'm flying the Mavic 3 around, and I land. Okay, well now I want to switch over. I want to fly the Mini 3 Pro next. Well, you turn the radio on, you swipe across here and try and find the model. You say, yeah, give me the Mini 3 Pro. And then it says, hey, I'm going to connect to that. And it sits there and searches and can't find it. Finally, eventually it says, hey, I can't find this thing. It's like, oh, geez. So you hit the X button, X out of that. And then you go into pairing mode. So you set the thing up, you get into pairing mode. And then it sits there and beeps incessantly for about a minute until it can't pair up. Now this is a pain in the buttski doing this. So then you X out of that, and it says, hey, I got to update a firmware. All right, fine, update the firmware. Wait till it gets done to that. It says, okay, firmware updated. Hey, I can't find it again. What the heck? So you go into pairing mode again. It beeps a little bit more. Then it finally connects to the darn thing, and you go and fly. Fine. You come back, you land, you say, well, hey, I want to fly the Air 2S next. So you load that one up, the same thing happens. You got to go through the whole process of, hey, I can't find it. Hey, I can't pair it. Hey, you got to update the firmware. So every single time you move from a drone to another one, this happens. Now, it doesn't happen if you stay with the same drone. You turn this one off and you say you swap the batteries and you go to fly again. It doesn't do that. And conversely, the RC controller is no different. It does the same thing. So this is very annoying. You're out there, where you're in the world, you could be freezing your fingers off, standing there blipping away waiting for this thing to do this. So again, a pain in the buttski. So I reached out to DJI and asked them, hey, what is this? Is this normal? So their response back was, first off, they said this is designed to protect the user's property to prevent the theft of drones. Okay, that's their response. So then I kind of, pressed them a little further and said, well, each connection is a recertification process. Really? So you can't remember all this? I mean, it does ask you when you scrape through which drone you're going to be using. Shouldn't it load up the appropriate firmware for that? Apparently not. It can't remember that. Then I asked about this. I said, is this a design flaw or something? Is it supposed to do this? Well, they said, well, they're saying that each of the drones has its own firmware. Fine. Well, you think when you asked me what drone I'd want, it would load the appropriate firmware. No, it doesn't. So this is kind of a design flaw, and it's a pain in the buttski. So anyways, I thought I'd make you aware of this. Now, conversely here now, I have this controller right here. This is the Radiomaster TX16S that I fly my FPV drones with. Well, guess what? You load this up, it has multiple drones you can load into this thing, and when you start this one up, you can say select the drone, you hit I want to fly that one, and it does it. It doesn't ask for this whole binding recertification and stuff. It's like, well, wait a minute, here's a cheap $200 radio that can do something this expensive $1,200 one can't. So that's my little miff on this one here. If anybody knows a workaround or fix to this one, I'd love to hear this one. Put that down in the comments if you know that one. So that's what I'm having a problem with, but it's an annoyance, especially when it's cold out. But it's the way it is. But I'll let you know what it is. Anyways, if you enjoyed this content, hey, give me a like. Think about subscribing to my channel and ringing that bell to be notified of upcoming videos. And until then, I'm Scott, your SKS video guy, and we'll see you around.